Alrighty. Hello. Let's see. What's up, everybody? Wow, what an episode. Episode 8. Let me switch this over. Stop this horrible music. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome in. Episode 8. House of the Dragon in the books. Hold on, let me plug in my phone. Apologize, I'm a little behind because I lost internet about 15 minutes in for about 10-15 minutes, so sorry about that. But I'm glad I was scheduling this a little later because it was an hour and 10 minutes, I believe, the longest one yet. What is up, everybody? Hello, Nicole, Jason, Sammy, Sonia, Michael, Randy Suimatsu, Mother Dragon. Had to say Daemon's a hell of a lot of fun. He'd be a great guest to have over for a barbecue. Yes, you would. That scene with Daemon was outstanding. What's up? I'm Goliath. How you doing? Voodoo Darling, someone, Jimmy Page, what's up, man? Zara, Sydney, the romantic. Oh, there's she's done changed her name, Sydney. What's up, Becky? How are you? Lady Celtic, Nata. I lie. What am I lying about, Nata? I did. My HBO app would not. My TV lost connection, and I had to restart it several times. Jenny of Coldstone, hello. Sarah Burt, Musey, how are you? CT, Dark Angel, Sammy, K-Dubs, what's up? Nicole, Greg, Milk, Peach, hello. Mazuma, I think, was in here as well. And anyway, hello, everyone. I can't get everybody, but we'll go over this as usual. Hell of an episode. I kind of called this, I think, early on in probably the first live stream. I thought Viserys would kind of die, and obviously we're going to talk about spoilers here in episode 9. But so I was off. I said 8 or 9, I think it was. So we got we'll get first blood before the end of the season, I'm sure, starting next week. So lots went down. Viserys, you felt really bad for this episode, I'm telling you. I'm so glad the lesser Valerian and Daemon got the dark sister treatment. It's been a bitch the whole season. Yeah. I mean, when he started to say it, Daemon was like, say it. You know, the word bastard. He was waiting on him, and he fucking said it. That was a mistake. So let me quickly run through my notes here. Again, I apologize. I'm a little behind, but I can't help the internet, and then we'll talk about it as usual, and then at the end of this thing, we'll go over the preview for episode 9, which I have not seen yet. So I think this is 6 years? This is the last time jump, so we should be good now with time jumps. 6 years later, I believe, was the they stated that, so 5 or 6 years, whatever. So because we have Rhaenyra and Daemon's kids, so we open up the sea snake. This is a lot different from book stuff as well. Just throw that out there. I won't go into book details because there's not a lot of details there anyway, so this is a little different. Sea Snake has been injured. We heard that last week, but now we know he took a slash to the neck, so he's not doing well. And it opens up with Vaemond on Driftmark saying basically, look, if he dies, Driftmark's mine type of thing. So no, Lori. No, that was emotional, Lori Perkins. Lori's asking, am I the only one who cried when Viserys drug himself to the throne and for his daughter? Music was so good. Yeah, that was an outstanding scene. I mean, well done. I'm telling you, Patty, shout out to Patty Constantine playing Viserys, because this is like, way better than book Viserys. You don't know much about him. He played him so well, and you felt horrible for him this whole thing, even to he's laying there looking like a literal zombie, like a literal white from beyond the wall, and they're still in there asking about succession and whatever. But he does come through, and that was a really emotional scene. It really was good. Even Daemon, I really like that touch that they where Daemon helps him to the throne. He didn't let the Kingsguard help him, but Daemon literally helps him up the last time. And I even wrote that down in my notes. He takes the throne for the last time. I knew it was coming. And then Daemon actually crowns him for the last time again. I thought that was a really good touch there with Daemon, because they've been cutting out some stuff with Daemon, like hugging his daughters last week and all that stuff that I thought was odd. So that was a really good touch for him. Really good scene. So anyway, but we'll get to that as well. So they're basically arguing over this whole episode was about Driftmark, essentially, who's going to, back to the same old issue. They know that her kids are bastards or whatever. And It's about Driftmark. So we see Daemon going in the scene from the original trailer. Getting the dragon egg. They did mention this from Cyrax. They took that from the books and changed it quite a little bit. They didn't mention Bela's dragon or any of those things. No dragons this episode, which I thought was a little odd that nobody's flying. I mean, everybody's there, but they're not showing these scenes even where they're just flying in to King's Landing or anything. Thought that was a little odd. But that's the same thing from the books. Is his daughter gets an egg from Cyrax's clutch and eventually gets a dragon, and she names it Morning. So we didn't need any mention of any Morning or moon dance or any of that stuff. So I thought that was a little odd, but we get a little bit more of Bela and Rhaena. We see the letter that she wrote, and I did pause it at the time. This is right before my internet went out, and I paused it and read the letter. It was essentially saying Uncle Daemon wants Driftmark. He rides to King's Landing for support, and he is the only untainted choice. So that's what that letter said. If anybody's watching, she had a few more words in there, but that was the gist of it. So I'm not obviously quoting it. Devil's Advocate, I couldn't believe my ears when King named Aegon II the prince that was promised. Yeah, I think that's not what he meant. He was saying Aegon, and she took it as Aegon, her son Aegon, being the prince that was promised. I think he thought he was talking to Rhaenyra. So we'll get to that in a second. Then we have Jace learning High Valyrian on Dragonstone about Aegon I. They always reference Aegon the Conqueror, so he's learning High Valyrian, obviously. In that little part, and they're on the painted table, which a little foreshadowing there. That's going to come into play real soon. We see Rhaenyra is pregnant with Visenya. I won't go into any spoilers about Visenya, just in case, but she is pregnant because right now she has Aegon III. Aegon, and when I say Aegon III, I understand. I've had people yell at me in comments because I understand it's just Aegon. He will be Aegon III. They don't get the little number till they become king or whatever. But I'm using it for the sake of we have multiple Aegons now and multiple Viserys. So Aegon III and Viserys II, they do meet their grandfather later in the episode, but she is pregnant with Visenya. But I'll leave it at that as far as what's going to happen with Visenya and why that happens. Let's see if they change it up for the show. Rhaenys still obviously believes that they had Laenor killed, even though Laenor's not dead. But I thought that was kind of shitty that he had this plan to fake his death, or they all did, or whatever. But Laenor, like send a letter to your mom or something. Maybe send a raven. You can fly over if you're assuming you still have sea smoke. I don't know. So yeah, so we're gonna start to see anyway. So that was just a little sidebar there. His parents think he's dead. He could let him know, look, I'm over here. I'm cool. Anyway, so I'm saying Aegon the Third and all that stuff, but it's technically going to be Aegon the Elder and Aegon the Younger and all that kind of stuff because there's so many. Now we have not only similar names, we have the same name. So Aegon the Second, Alicent's, the prince, her son, it will be Aegon the Elder, and now we have Aegon the Younger, and then Viserys the same thing. So we got now Viserys is gone, so this is the only Viserys, but anyway, they did overlap a little bit. 2 episodes left, Greg. So episode 9 and 10. So anyway, we see go back to King's Landing. We see Lord Caswell. That's going to be a little interesting nod. Greets Rhaenyra. If you remember back in episode, what was it, 5 or 6, when Rhaenyra, 6 I believe it was, when Rhaenyra walks out the first time we see, she's given birth. He's the one that greeted her. He'll come into play as far as the blacks and the greens. Little nod there. We see that Alicent has changed the Red Keep in King's Landing, and so now no more Valyrian-style decorations. She's the one that had the 7-pointed star put in the throne room and all that stuff that we later see in Game of Thrones. So she's essentially taking over while Viserys is essentially bedridden. We see Alicent now on the council as she's sitting at the king's table. I thought this is... people are somehow, for some reason, yelling at me about this. I don't understand why Alicent's on this council. It's just not a book thing. The hand should be completely sitting in that chair, essentially like he does the throne. It makes no sense how they have... in the council meetings, Alicent sitting in the chair. I mean, they're doing it to have her basically running shit under, and opposing Rhaenyra. But then in the throne room, you have Otto, the Hand of the King, sitting on the throne, which is what should be. Anyway, just a little minor thing. I want to mention really quick, and they're talking about Driftmark and all that stuff as well later on with Daemon, but Lord Beesbury is a little bit defiant, and again, without any spoilers, that's a little foreshadowing. He's like, he's the only one with any common sense in there that's not worried about the politics of it all. We get to see Rhaenyra going to see Viserys, and Daemon goes with her. Viserys, again, looks like a white, like I said the other day. Now it's literally like he looks just like the white that they showed Cersei. Got an eye missing, no more hair, basically. Barely, a few teeth left. I mean, he looks absolutely horrible. You felt horrible for him, but she sees him. They see him. They're keeping him drugged up on milk of the poppy. So he really can't even, speak that much or whatever. But essentially, the High Towers are running things now, and that's what they're worried about. So they go in there and try to persuade him to back, again, her kids. Daemon even smells the cup. She's, when he drinks the wine or whatever, or no, the cup, and then it's all obviously milk of the poppy, and that's all it's been doing. So they actually confront Alicent later, which I thought was nice. Randy, kind of like when they threw Cersei out when she was trying to rep Joffrey. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, going awry. I was gonna say, if you're not watching it yet, we're gonna spoil it. So careful if you don't want to know anything. Yeah, exactly, Pete. That's what I'm gonna say. The tendons in his cheek. They showed like the hole through his cheek. I mean, he looked just like a white. Mark Clark, thank you for the super chats. I will get to those in just a second. Mark, thank you. I'm not forgetting. So anyway, so we see, and again, Daemon smells the cup and realizes they're keeping him drugged up. We go to Aegon. Apparently, Aegon has assaulted this girl, this serving wench or whatever, and Alicent, of course, chooses to protect him. And she gives her this cup, and I was like, I wrote down in my notes, gives her blank until I found out for sure. I was going to say, was it actually moon tea? Because she said just in case, and I was like, no, this is not moon tea. So she has the girl killed, and I think her name was Diana. And knowing what her son did and protects him, again, it's showing you how much she's changed, is what she's really there for. This young girl, because Aegon is just that's what he is. He's a little bastard. He's now married to Helena, by the way. But this is what he does to girls, anybody he sees. He's known for this, very similar in the books, but I don't know if there's any mention of a particular assault. So I can't say the R word on here, obviously, but you know what I mean. So she chooses to protect him instead of the girl because she told a couple people to protect the future king. So we get Aegon and Helena now married. So because she mentioned that like you're doing this, you're fucking over yourself and your family and your wife. But they do confront him. Daemon and Rhaenyra confront Alicent about it, about keeping the king, basically sedated all the time. He's not really ruling anymore. And she's like, yeah, the father lets me forget these dreadful allegations, just playing it off. We see Jace and Luke go to the training yard, and everybody's watching, and because everybody knows the secret. We get a shot of, you have two, it's like some of these scenes, they're fine, but just little nitpicks for me. It's like you had Eric Cargill, and the Cargills are a house, and you got two of them on the Kingsguard now, and they're twins, so you can't tell them apart. And he comes up to say to tell Alicent about this whole thing with Aegon or whatever, but it's almost like Ryan Condal just throwing in little stuff like, look, I know Ice and Fire, here's another character name for you, kind of throwing out little things, which is fine. It's not nothing bad. It's just you can tell it's unneeded is all I mean, I guess. So you have Auric and Eric Cargill, which are the two Kingsguard twins. And they were in the yard fighting there as well, training. When then everybody's kind of watching Aemon as he's growing up now, we see the older Aemon now. Aemon is going to be similar to Daemon. You can see also he almost admired Daemon when he killed Vaemon later on. So Aemon's now going to be a major player, obviously with Vhagar as well. But Aemon's training Sir Criston Cole and gets the drop on him. So now he's all grown up. He knows how to fight. He's a warrior, all that good stuff as well. And then Vaemon, of course, arrives with the High Towers. He's actual High Tower guards, like the house guards, not his own. So I wrote down early on he's going to be working with the High Towers. So we knew that was coming. We see Rhaenys in King's Landing as well, talking to Rhaenyra, and she's like defiant about Laenor. She still thinks that's the case. Rhaenyra makes the offer about marriage, essentially saying, look, join Team Black here, we'll marry our kids and all that stuff. But Rhaenys actually rejects her. It's really interesting. It's a good little touch, I think, for the show, because you don't get this relationship in the books. You don't know how Rhaenys feels about Rhaenyra and vice versa. You don't really know. So we've seen their relationship now a little bit in the show. So there's no love lost there, I guess, but in the end, she makes the right choice to support her husband, and then Rhaenyra in the throne room. So a little bit of Rhaenys and some foreshadowing there as well. I won't mention with the whole Vaemon thing. So initially rejecting her, then we see Viserys. He's getting his wounds treated or whatever, not doing any good, obviously. But that Grand Maester's kept him alive for a long time, a lot longer than we thought. So I guess good job to him. But he basically says he wants to dine with his family, and he rejects the milk of the poppy because he wants to be coherent, which is good. That's what saves the day for Rhaenyra anyway, or temporarily. Penny, I've not watched it yet. We watched those at the end of this stream, and I'll kind of do a quick breakdown at the end of the stream. So I have not watched the trailer yet. On HBO, for me, it does not pop up immediately after, so I always watch them just right here on stream. So we'll go over that here shortly. Let's see. Then we get to Rhaenyra asking Viserys again about the Song of Ice and Fire. Is it true when you name me heir, you split the kingdom, but we're supposed to keep it together? All that kind of stuff. Sydney Taylor asking, do you think Corlys will show back up? Yeah, 100%. Yep, he's not dead. Unless they drastically change stuff. I mean, he'll survive. Just a spoiler warning, but just my thoughts. I don't think they're going to change it that much. I think for sure that he will be back. So all this is kind of for nothing. All this was Vaemon kind of got for nothing, I think. So we'll definitely see because again, he's obviously Team Black Corlys with Rhaenys. So I think we're getting him back. I don't think he's going to be dying off screen or something. We see Otto holding court about Driftmark, and then he's in like a city speaking on the king's voice. This is a really good scene. Daemon makes his case. Rhaenyra starts her case, and then Viserys shows up and has the gold mask, and that wasn't, we just talked about an outstanding scene. They took their time. The music was awesome. You got kind of emotional, like you knew this is the last time, but he walks in on his own power, and you can see it in their faces, Otto Hightowers and the Queen. And Vaemon been working with him, obviously, in the background, so he's like, wait a minute, he's not supposed to be here. He's not supposed to be coherent at all. So it was a really good scene, and they were all worried about it, and obviously that's what goes down with Vaemon, because he comes in and says, why are we talking about this again? And then let's listen to Rhaenys, and this is when Rhaenys comes back and says, basically takes up the offer and says, yeah, my husband always supported Jace, and Princess Rhaenyra is also, offered to wed our kids, and that's the way it is, and that's what I support. But really good scene. Really great, good touch with Daemon, as I said before, helping him up the stairs, and he lets Daemon help him. And I wrote down, climbs the Iron Throne for the last time. I knew it was going to be, and then Daemon helps him and then crowns him again, like picks up his crown. That was really a good little touching moment for that character, because he does love his brother. He's not an overall, he's not a complete asshole. He can be, but he's, anyway, the point being he loves his brother. Really good scene. Really, that was probably my favorite scene of the whole episode for damn sure. This is a really good episode, even though it was no battles or action. Who cares? Still really good. And now, I'm sorry, guys. I'll grab these super chats in just a second. I do see them, so thank you. Vaemon is pissed, and then he goes off, and then he starts to say it, and he says, I will not give my... Now, I understand his position. I do understand Vaemon's position, because he knows that he is the last in line, and all this stuff at least show. And he says... I will not, put my house in the hands of this. And Daemon says, "Say it," and he turns around and says it, calls them bastards. Viserys stands up, says, "I will have your tongue," and before he gets it out of his mouth, dude's head is half gone. I mean, Dark Sister just. I was like, holy shit, that was. Ooh, that was a good. It was a good scene because Daemon just don't give a shit. He knew it. He knew he was going to be sentenced to death or lose his tongue. And he says he could keep his tongue. So Daemon didn't have to go out like that, man. He could have waited to see, if Corlys survives and kept his mouth shut. But he made that power move. And again, I do understand his position. It's not necessarily just for power, but it is his line. So I get it, but you fucked up, dude. Now the sea snake has to live, and he did get to keep his tongue. So I did too, Nicole. I was like, oh, I literally said, oh shit, because I knew he was going to probably die or be sentenced to death, but I thought it would be like they drag him out. Nope, Daemon just serves it up cold. That was a great fucking scene. Yeah, I know. Betray King, exactly. Through the skull, not even a neck swipe. Theon was very impressed. Yeah, Theon hacking away. Well, that's Valyrian steel, too, so that was fucking clean. Best scene in the whole thing was Viserys coming in there and the whole thing. We see the Silent Sisters working on his body. They got to kind of put his head back together for the funeral if they're going to. They don't really have to, but I guess they are. That's what they seem to be working on. Rhaenyra watches, Rhaenys watches, and the Grand Maesters tell her, "Don't look at death. It's a bad omen," type of thing. We won't go much into that, just to avoid some spoilers. And then we have the Last Supper, as I wrote it in my notes. I actually wrote the Last Supper. We get the prayer now, and Daemon's laughing because they're not with the old, Daemon. They're more still the old Valyrian gods. Even though Aegon the Conqueror took up the Faith of the Seven to help with the conquering of Westeros, we're seeing now that most of these Targaryens really didn't believe in it, obviously, but the Hightowers do, so she's changed it all up. But the Last Supper, as I called it, you see now you kind of see Rhaenyra in the black dress and then Alicent in the green, so you're kind of seeing the dresses now, although that was already declared differently. We have Aegon starting to pick on Jace. Of course, he's just a cocksucker, is what he is. Betrayed at least. And Viserys' speech was pretty touching, trying to hold the family together. Like this was his last chance. It's like his dying wish for everybody just to fucking get along. Hey Zara, how are you? Moni, how are you? So you feel for him, man. He take the thing off. You see his eyes gone. He's got the shit missing. His jaw's half gone. He looks like an actual zombie or a white. It's just crazy. But I thought it was a good little last touch too, where Rhaenyra actually toasts Alicent, and I feel these were actually legit. I don't think they were like put on. I think she did say, Alicent has taken care of my father and served him faithfully and honorably and all this stuff. I thought that was a good little touch there. It kind of deepens the characters, and then she responded, and I think Alicent, I think she had the tears in her eyes. I think she actually meant it as well, but she doesn't change the thing that she's done, and certainly will do, and how she feels. But so good little touch there. Viserys, it was really, really cool. They had these toasts. And I thought they were, and they had nobody like. I thought that was going to break. Shit was going to break out any time. They toast each other, Alicent and Rhaenyra. Then the kids also do, and says she'll make a fine queen, as a matter of fact. And it's almost like a good little moment. This is very much the calm before the storm, if you will. So very much so. And then Viserys, I wrote down, Aegon's being a dick. Helena, by the way, I did write this down too. Before I get to that, though, like Viserys, all seems well for like 30 seconds or a minute or so. Viserys is like happy. Like you can see the look in his eyes. He's really super happy. And I thought he can kind of die now type of thing. It's the feeling I got. Like he sees these people getting along for once. And I think for a little bit they actually listened to him and felt what he was saying, is the way I took it. And then, of course, he has to leave because he starts having some pain, whatever. So he got his moment. It was really good. So again, shout out to Patty for this character. Really well done. Obviously, we won't see him next episode. Now this opens the door. But as soon as he leaves, Aemon makes the toast. The toast that comes from the books to Jake, Luce, and Joffrey. My strong nephews. The whole thing about the Strongs. They get in a fight. Daemon steps in. They send him to the rooms and basically, yeah, exactly. In his eye, Doc called it. I'm sorry, Doc. What's up, Doc? Happiness in the one eye. You can see it though. The expression. It was a good scene. So Daemon steps in, and you see. Just notice again. I'm not going to say any no spoilers or anything for future stuff, but when you saw Daemon kill Vaemon, right? They showed Aemond like smiling a little bit, like a little smirk, like he really respected Daemon, right? And then when Daemon steps in to break up the fight, they kind of had this little standoff there, just a real quick little standoff. Nothing major, just a look. And then Aemon walks off, and Daemon's just smiling at him the whole time. What's up, Carol Brown? There she is. Yes. So I will never think of the phrase "took out of his head off" or "stuck his tongue out" ever again. Exactly. I mean, damn. Vaemon fucked up. He didn't have to do all that, man. He could have just waited. But yeah, so Aemon's really admiring Daemon, and now you see that little standoff. I won't say any more. People know. If you know, you know. That just little hint, something to come later. Pretty big stuff to come later. So the fight breaks out. This is pretty much straight out of the book, and the important part of that though is Viserys got his moment, where he saw everybody getting along, and it didn't last. I thought it was probably legit for like 30, 45 seconds or whatever, where everybody was like actually chilling, and then Aemon. It's Aemond. There we go. With we got adult dating site bots in here again. Thank you. Aemon steps in, so Aemon's going to be another fan favorite for a lot of people too. So we see a quick little shot of Mysaria like we saw last week in the preview. I didn't recognize if anybody recognized that girl. Let me know, because I thought this would be like Daemon going to recruit her, talk to her. I didn't recognize the girl, and maybe it was one of the servant girls from earlier. So there was some quick thing there. I didn't catch it. I was trying to in a rush at the end of this thing after I got the internet back up. I'm sorry, HBO Max back up after the internet went out, or whatever happened. So I don't know who that girl was. I didn't quite catch her. Tried to pause it really quick, but I was behind. So I don't know. They showed Mysaria for some reason, and I'm not sure who that was. So somebody's passing her information already. Then we get the Viserys telling at the very end. Obviously, Viserys tells Alicent about the prophecy. Alicent, he had been talking to Rhaenyra about it, and then because twice Rhaenyra went in there and said this Rhaenyra, he starts talking about the prince that was promised and talking about Aegon. Of course, he's talking about Aegon the Conqueror and the dream he had about the prince that was promised, and he says it's all true, and she says Prince Aegon, and he's like, he can't correct her. He doesn't correct her. So he's talking about Aegon the Conqueror had this dream, and yes, it's all true. You must bear this, all this kind of stuff. And she thinks he's talking about Aegon, her son. So then Viserys has his last couple breaths, and he is out of here. So again, shout out to Patty. Really quick before we jump into just free flow Q&A, and I'll jump in all your questions. Helena mumbles at the table, and I went back and I did pause that and turn the captions on. She mumbled, quote, "Beware the beast." I put this on my phone, that's why I'm reading over here. "Beware the beast beneath the boards." So she just mumbles this shit. You don't know what the hell she means. She don't even know what the hell she means. So what do you guys think that means? I'll give you my quick non-spoilery answer. I do think I know what it means, but I don't want to spoil anything for later. Beware the beast beneath the boards. It can only, to me, refer to rats, and I think it's a reference to blood and cheese, clearly to me. I mean, just for thinking about it for 5 seconds. But if you think something different, let me know. But no spoilers about blood and cheese, please. Don't. Let's not go beyond episode 8. That will be a next season thing. Hello, Marquita. How are you? So there's your episode 8. General quick little breakdown. but it's got to refer to rats. I think that Helena thing. She just mumbles stuff, and you gotta like pause and rewind, and put the captions on because she's just mumbling shit, man. So she's got to be referring to rats, and I think that's a blood and cheese reference. So again, if you don't spoil any blood and cheese stuff, please, in the chat for future episodes. Anyway, so I believe that's what it. Yeah, Betrayed King, exactly. Beneath the boards, hidden passageways, that whole thing. So, yeah, we won't go beyond that. Really quick, let me grab these super chats. Thank you, Mark Clark, for these super chats. I got Darth Vader / Luke vibe at the dinner scene. Yep, very true. Thank you for the super chat, Mark. And again, Mark, as well, when Viserys took his mask off, so that's what you're saying about the Darth Vader thing. Yeah, or maybe, I was trying to see if there was a reference there to Anakin / Vader. But yeah, no, I can see that. Thank you, man, for the super chats. Guild Acoustics, Blake, appreciate it. The three, you the man, appreciate it. Guild, Blake, thank you, man. Appreciate the super chat. And then Shannis, thank you, Shannis, for the super chat as well. Patty deserves all the awards. He really does. Thank you, man. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. He really does. It was really a great this was his best performance this episode, being zombie Viserys. He's really done an outstanding job, and this is what George R. R. Martin actually likes about the show better than his own book, because he didn't put that much detail, and he thinks they did a better job with Viserys, the character. Anyway, so thank you for grabbing all these bots. I don't know why we have bots in here. Again, excuse me. Let's see. Musey, yeah, and did you decide Aegon the Elder is a psycho before or after he grabbed? No, I already knew he was. I already knew he was from, the dude was spanking it out the window, man. Come on. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, you don't get all this detail from the book stuff as well, obviously, but you do know that he's like he's a playboy type of character. Yeah, we won't go into spoilers there, Mazuma, but if you know, as far as blood and cheese. Becky, somebody needs to start listening to Helena. Yeah, exactly. Because she just mumbles this shit randomly, and I don't even know if she knows what she's saying. Jimmy, blood and cheese. You talking about the Giants-Packers game today? Kinda. I didn't watch that game. I didn't watch any football today, Jimmy, but maybe. But no, we won't. Let's not go into blood and cheese. Big things coming there. Honey Barbecue Wings. Viserys was looking like it and The Walking Dead had a baby. He was. I mean, this is bad. I really felt for him though. So I mean, last time we see Patty on screen, Viserys is now dead. Obviously at the end there, and of course Daemon and Rhaenyra went back to Dragonstone. It looked like it was the same night, but it may not have been exactly, so we're not really sure. I think you got to give them time to leave, though. You got to give them time to get out of there so he can die while they're on Dragonstone and not there to do anything about it. That's the big thing. That's the big kind of a difference. It wouldn't be as easy for them if they were. She should have stayed. And I was saying this, and the book stuff was a little different, obviously, because you had a different health condition that wouldn't give her a reason to necessarily stay around at King's Landing. But the show, they changed the illness, right? Which is fine. It's not a big deal. It made him like kind of, we knew it was coming and we knew it was creeping up on him or whatever. But the problem with that is now if you're a writer, and again, I'm putting my writer's cap on here, you got to think that she knows he don't have very long, Rhaenyra, I mean, and she would not want to leave King's Landing. So the problem with the change to the illness with Viserys, while it was good for TV, it messes that up a little bit, the common sense of that. Like, he's in horrible shape. He could go at any time. You want to be in King's Landing. Just my opinion. So they can't fuck you over. But that's what happens. Jenny of Coldstone. They will. Maybe they will hide the death. They absolutely will hide it. But if she was in King's Landing, I don't think she would still be going to see him and stuff. So they couldn't hide it. That's kind of my point, Jenny. Exactly. This gives them the option to do that, which they will. Viserys looks like a clicker. A clicker. What is that from? That's that monster thing from. I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the movie. Meg Paul was taken aback, Meg, that Jace wasn't taught high Valyrian from the jump. Yeah, that was, I thought so too. They probably did learn some, but you would think they would have learned it a little younger, or at least maybe that he's still learning it. It was, I don't know. It was another way to shout out Aegon the Conqueror. It's almost like they want to do a show about Aegon the Conqueror. Just saying, you know how they do these, like they talked about 10,000 ships and all that stuff. Maybe that will work. Maybe we'll see after this ends in 3 years or 3 or 4 seasons. Maybe the show jumps back to Aegon the Conqueror because they keep referencing him almost every episode. What's up, Dark Side Droids? You said Aemon aged 20 years. Yeah, I don't love the casting with Aegon. Aemon's fine. He does look a hell of a lot older, but he looks older than Aegon now, although it wasn't as bad on the show as I thought it was from the preview. But Aegon looks the part of a dickhead for sure. But yeah, it was. People have been questioning that all week. Like, wait a minute, Aegon looks the same or younger now, actually, and then Aemon looks older. So whatever. It is what it is. Aghast. Yeah, Dark Angel. Yes. Meanwhile, Kristen Cole still looking 25. I agree. I don't know why they should have did something to age him down, or I guess down earlier, or age him up, or whatever they need to do, because Daemon and him look exactly the same. And him even more so, because I guess his darker hair and stuff, and he's, there's no gray, there's no nothing. They could have added some gray, I don't know, something to make him look like me or something, and then you could say he aged up. DC Diva Carol Brown. Okay, the roast pig in front of Aemon. Chef's kiss, exactly. Yeah, no incident, coincidence there. But let's see. Meg Paul, I don't know. Aemon just got the tall jeans. Aegon peaked at 13. Yeah, but I think it's the face, actually. I don't know. It was better than I thought from the preview last week and all that and the pictures. So it's kind of like one of those things where now this is your cast, right? And now we'll kind of fall into it over a couple seasons, and depending on how they stretch this out. And this is kind of, you'll kind of get used to it type of thing. So no more swaps and actor and actress changing, and no more time jumps. This will be it essentially for the dance, because I believe we are now. If they're keeping the years correct with the time jumps, and Viserys just died, we should be in 129 AC. So we should be the year now that the actual war starts. Let's see. Dairy Girl, Helena prediction. Beware the beast below the boards is referencing to Corlys, and the board is another word used for a deck on the ship, thus predicting something to do with Aegon as she was looking at him. Could be just the beast comes back, Corlys coming back, that type of thing. But I think because she said it, and Aegon is involved in a way indirectly, I still think it's a blood and cheese reference, because I think the beast refers to rats, and you'll get that if you. I mean, I'm not saying you, in general, whoever. If you have not read the books, you will know what that means. With the rats and how that relates to blood and cheese. Let's see. Mizuma, these Targaryen uncles, aunts, either you fight them or you fuck them. Pretty much. Peach, this is the first episode where I felt Rhaenyra actress reminded me so much of the younger actress. I didn't think about that, actually, Peach. She was definitely better. There was definitely, because it was a little bit of a shocker, honestly. Like I mentioned in that live stream for that episode 6. it was a little bit of a shocker a little bit, to get rid of Millie and Emily and go to Emma and her was a little bit of a weird thing for a while. Now you're kind of settled in again a few more episodes later. But I didn't think about there was a couple things that made me think that I can see now that you said that, thinking back, like when they were having the conversations and the toast and all that stuff. It did kind of remind me of the younger characters. So Carol, you're saying, yeah, Emma channeled Millie. Yeah, so either way, I've settled into them now, and they're fine. And then now we got to do the same thing with the kids. So, Sydney Taylor, I really hope Jason and Luke know how to fight, because clearly Aemon got some damn good skills. They do, but they're obviously younger, and they're not as trained by the Master at Arms at King's Landing anymore, and the King's Guard. Which, see, that's the thing. They're kind of doing that for they're having the King's Guard out in the yards training instead of a separate Master at Arms or whatever, which is fine. But yeah, Aemon is a badass warrior for sure, and we'll see how that turns out. And a dragon rider, of course. Mermaid, yeah, exactly. I was saying that earlier. Not a single dragon in this episode. We only got the dragon eggs, and then no dragon even in the sky. That's what I mean. They're kind of, it was fine. It was more character based, all that good stuff as well. Not that we need action and dragons all the time, but you would expect to see them flying around overhead at some point. They're not always in the dragon pit, but people coming and going. They're not taking ships. The only reason Rhaenyra took a ship this time and Daemon is she's pregnant with her third child with Daemon. So I get that, but I mean, Rhaenys, nobody flew a dragon? I don't know. Whatever. Not a big deal, but we'll get plenty. We're going to get plenty for sure. At the same time, by the way. Let's see. Mushi said F. Allison, yeah, she's turned into full Allison. They gave her one more little moment where I think she was like being legitimately, thinking about Rhaenyra, like thinking back to the old days. That's what kind of reminded me of the younger characters. R.N. Smith, hello, R.N. Smith, how are you? I did not catch this either. If somebody knows, please let me know. What did King Viserys say with his last breath? I could not hear it. And I was kind of like just kind of going backwards and running upstairs to start the stream, so I didn't catch it. I was actually going to ask that, but the only thing I actually turned on those for was for the Helena thing. But that was a pretty good way to end it, the episode, with his breathing and this kind of stops. You don't need any music. Pretty good way to do it. Ken Robinson, yes, we were mentioning this earlier. No spoilers, Ken, obviously, but yes, I mentioned when Daemon stepped up and just kept that smile, that smirk on his face, and Aemon just kind of stood there, and just for a second, little something between the two, I don't know, deviants of each side there. We'll see how that turns out, and I don't know, probably season 3, something like that. Okay, so Pete's saying, chat said, he said, my love. Okay, so it looked, yeah, because he was reaching up, right? I was thinking he was seeing Emma or something like that, so, but I didn't hear the actual words. So, okay, that makes sense. Okay, Patrice is saying Emma. My love is correct, says Mizuma. Okay, so my love. So he did say my love. Talking about Emma, I guess. Ryan, you're saying no more love. No more love my life. I'm not sure how. Okay, my love. So everybody's saying the same. Okay. So anyway. So good little touch there. Yeah, Zara, you are right. Yes, she did say, Rhaenyra did say a dragon was mentioned. She said, I'll take see the kids home, and then I will fly back on dragon back. But now that won't happen. Because Viserys just being alive is the only thing that's keeping everything together. That was the glue. That was it. So now he's gone. If she would have just stayed another couple days, it might have changed some things, but we'll see how they do it. Ken Robinson, Aemon is like a mirror of Daemon. Yeah, in a lot of ways. I think Aemon's a lot more. I think he's more just straight asshole, though. I think Daemon certainly has that softer side, and Aemon doesn't really have one. But in that sense, as far as warriors and, kind of being brash and all that stuff, for sure. Jason Weeks, yes, subtitles. Yeah, I don't use them unless there's something like the prophecy thing from Helena. I wanted to make sure I called that. Alex Contis, Aemon is going to be a fucking problem. Yes, he is. He certainly will be. We'll probably see. Let's see. And again, we'll watch the trailer here in a just here shortly. So we'll see what they show, because I'm curious to see if they jump straight into it next week or if they wait till episode 10 for like First Blood. I think. Well, again, there's two things you could consider First Blood in the actual war, but I mean, when I say First Blood, I mean actual fighting is what I mean, and I think we'll probably see that in episode 10. But again, we'll see. We'll see what. Doc, I think I got all those. Doc, all the super chats. I got Mark's, both of them. Guild Blade, Shannis, and then we just got one from the Raging Cajun. Thank you, Raging Cajun, for the super chat. Thoughts on theory? Clubfoot is Green Seer. No, I don't think he's Green Seer. I think he's just like a kind of another spy. That's all. It's similar in the books. He doesn't say a lot. He can't fight. Everybody keeps saying super chats. I've already got all the super chats. Is there something I'm missing? Am I missing one? But no, I don't think he's a Green Seer. I think he's just one of those Varys style dudes in the books. He kind of just watches people and listens, and he's an observer, is what the way to describe him. So I don't think a Green Seer thing, for sure. The three-eyed rat, you could say that. He's using the what do he use? He used the Firefly as his little sigil there when he calls the terror at Harrenhal. Yeah, everybody's saying super chats, but I read those already, so I don't know if there's one I'm missing. I got all of those, unless I'm missing one. So, did that cut out? Was I offline when I read those 5 in a row? Carol or Doc or whatever, text me if I've missed something. Unless y'all just didn't hear all that. Jason Weeks, Warden of the North, where do we get the SmokeScreen stickers? There are stickers on the Teespring store. There might be some old stickers left. I cleaned off a lot of the old stuff, and I was going to put some new stuff up here. But now we're kind of way into the season now. 2 episodes left. Let me see if let's see. I think it's they've changed the thing on Teespring, but I put a lot of book stuff up there, book T-shirts and all that stuff as well. Here we go. I'll just paste it in here. You can look around. I need to update some of this stuff too, but I got a lot of Crimson Gods book stuff in here. But there's some old SmokeScreen stuff left as well, shirts, and yeah, there's a sticker there, actually, regular sticker. So here's the link to the store, to the merch stuff. I need to update it. These are a lot of these are old. I deleted a lot of old stuff. Raging Cajun, thank you for the super chat again. Watch Joe Magician's vid on Change Your Mind. Yeah, maybe. I've never thought that there was any Green Seer stuff to any of these characters, especially during this time period. There's not a lot of magic. Now, maybe for the show, for sure, but there's not a lot of magic in this time period in the books. because you got to think about it, Rajan. And again, I don't know what Joe's saying as far as his theory or what evidence he's using. I'll check it out. But the only thing that is I was going to say is not too long from now. I mean, you got a little, I don't know the exact year anymore. I don't remember all that stuff anymore. But you're going to have a Green Seer Bloodraven be born in another 100 years or so, something like that. So I don't know if they would have. 'Cause that's more of a northern thing. But the difference is, Cajun, is that Bloodraven has first man blood. He is a great bastard, so he's he's almost him and his brothers and sisters, Sierra Sea Star, all that stuff. They're almost ice and fire babies themselves, which is why they're kind of special in a lot of ways. So I don't think having like just a random strong guy makes much sense if that's part of the blood magic stuff. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'll check out Joe's video or whatever, but I don't know what evidence he's using. John Haymaker, yes, to King Viserys, toast to King Viserys, to Patty Constantine, for doing a hell of a job and bringing that character to life. Really good this episode, too, for the last one. All hail King Viserys, titles. Scott of Greywater Watch, so the Strongs. And, I know, Scott. What I'm saying is it's just like if I'm just, again, thinking as a writer, I don't want to overdo the Green Seers in the family, if that makes sense. Like, is there one like every, they're so rare. It's like I can't even remember the number now. As far as Bloodraven talked about this, as far as how many people are wargs and then how many people out of those people are skin changers and Green Seers, and it's like one out of every 100,000 or something crazy. So I don't know if George wrote it that way, but again, I don't know what I don't remember obviously every detail of Fire and Blood. But we'll I wouldn't think so, just from a writing perspective. But certainly not going to say it's not the case. Yeah, because Scott, because what I'm saying, you're saying it makes sense. What in general is like, if you start having, the Clubfoot's a Green Seer, and then Viserys is a Dreamer, and then Dany's the Dreamer, and then somebody else, and you start having and blood. It takes away from Bloodraven, and takes away from those type of big characters that play a huge major role. Why take for example Lair Strong and make him a Green Seer as a kind of a just small side character in this bigger scheme of things, when he can just be a spy and have paying people for information, if that makes sense. That's what basically I'm trying to say. But again, I'll check it out. But again, yeah, it could be like Foley, you're saying it could be a show thing only. Maybe so. They're definitely making changes for sure. Let's see. Mizumi, you're saying so. The girl that's working for Massaria is employed as servant by Alicent. Now you're getting it. So yeah, that's what I thought. But I didn't back it up to like pause it and see if that was somebody I didn't recognize. I thought that was probably her. But what that could be also, because we know where Masari ends up and who she's working for later, could be already an inside person for the Blacks, Mizuma, just to throw that out there. Probably so, actually. So I don't think Alicent knows that girl is going to report to Masari, because she's not working for Alicent. She's working for the other side, I believe. Let's see. Jirish, what happened to Sir Chris Nicole being Hand of the King in the show? He's not even commander of the King's Guard. Also, someone pointed out Harold Westling was in the Black Council photo. That's a good question. Yeah, he should be. Well, again, remember when Viserys dies, like by the we don't know if there was a little time jump, like was it a couple weeks, was it a month, was it a couple nights from the time they had the get together and everything to Viserys dying. So at this time, yes, he should be Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. And did we see Sir Harold Westerling? I wasn't even paying attention. I don't think we saw him. I didn't see him this episode. What are you saying about the? Hold on. Harold Westerling was in the Black Council photo. Yeah, he should not be. If this is 129, so that's a good question. I wasn't really thinking about that, but we should see. He should be. In other words, when they start, okay, without any spoilers, right? Next week, we're going to see, obviously, them find out that Viserys died because somebody's going to come in. He's going to be laying there. They're going to hold their council of what to do. All right. At that point, he should already be Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. So, I don't know if they maybe called him that in the yard. I didn't see Harold Westling, though. He should be gone by now. I'm trying to catch up with the chat here. Sorry. Betray King. Okay, Harold came into the small council and spoke to Otto. Okay. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, we got. I don't know how they're going to do that. I got an idea of how they could do that. It would change things a little bit, but I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just keep my mouth shut. Because, again, without spoilers, Beesbury, as we saw again, who was a little bit defiant on the council with Alicent and Otto, will be involved in that situation, and it could be that's when he becomes Lord Commander of the Kingsguard for the show, if that makes any sense. Again, without spoiling anything, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. They may do it that way to get him a promotion, if that makes sense. Musey, Bastard or not, Team Green sucks. Yeah, they're a bunch of they're assholes for sure. I mean, look, nobody's innocent, but I mean, look at how they're acting, man. All her kids. Moni Mom, yes, John. What are we talking about, Moni Mom? I must have missed something earlier. Oh, I'm sorry. Can a dragon rider bond with more than one dragon at the same time? No. Nope, Moni. So a dragon can take a new rider once that rider dies, but if that rider is dead, that's the only time they can take a new rider. But a dragon rider cannot ride more than one. That is not going to happen. So this is what we were talking about last week, Moni, and if you missed it, this is the problem they've created now with Laenor being alive, right? Laenor, which I think is fine for the whole faking his death thing and riding off across the narrow sea. The problem is that he is the rider of Sea Smoke. Sea Smoke has a role to play later with a different rider. So by saving him in the show, you've created a problem now with a later Velaryon, which I think they're just going to omit from the show, apparently. So Laenor, I don't care if he got on a boat or not, that dragon's going with him. So the problem is if they, again, unless they have him fly back or something or come back, which I don't think they will, I don't know that makes any sense, kind of defeats the purpose of faking your death, then Sea Smoke's gone. So we've just lost a dragon before the fighting even started. And he plays a role later with another rider, Adam Velaryon, who become Adam Adam of Hull, who becomes Adam Velaryon, and goes to the Isle of Faces, as we talked about before. And I won't say any more than that. That's not really a major spoiler or anything, but that's a pretty important event that takes place to help with the war itself. So they've kind of put themselves in a spot where it's like either you got to kill him off so you can use Sea Smoke, or you got to have him come back, or I think they just I think they're just going to get rid of him to whittle out some dragons or something. I don't think they're going to use that storyline. Meg Paul, no shot. Sea Smoke is gone for good. I refuse. Meg, no, I mean, just saying. That's right, exactly, Doc. That's what I mean. Like, this dragon is not just going to sit on like the Dragonstone and Driftmark or whatever and stay there if he's alive. It's just not. So this is it's kind of a thing that you don't really think about all those details, but if you're really thinking about the kind of how things work in this world, how the magic system works or whatever, it doesn't work. So we'll see. They gotta. I don't know. Maybe they'll change the rules. I don't think it would change the rules that much though. Raging Cajun, another super chat coming in. Thank you, Raging, for another one. Again, they cast Adam Velaryon per Joe. Okay, so Joe Magician said they did cast him. Well, then Laenor's got to go. I mean, again, unless they just completely break the rules, which I guess is fine, but I don't know why they would break the rules. I vibe to Tribe. At least temper your expectations, everybody. Good advice. Bankton and Nana, there's speculation Laenor returns as the other rider, but I personally question that theory. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I don't know. I would like to see him come back, honestly, and like let his parents know he's alive. But then you got to kill him off if you're not going to break the dragon bonding rules, right? So it's just weird. So if they cast him, I haven't looked at any casting stuff since the way early on. But you kind of John, you're saying maybe Laenor dies of natural causes and Sea Smoke is free, and that's true. But then kind of what was the point of like him faking his death instead of just actually being killed? Well, I mean, you can do that, and it does take the weight off of Rhaenyra and Daemon for like having it done, because they obviously worked together to fake all this, so they wasn't just going to kill somebody in cold blood. So that it does take it off that, but then you have to kill him anyway. Maybe they could do. I mean, they could do that too. Scott, yeah, exactly. I don't want to go into any battles, Scott, but yes, Tumbleton too important. That's what I'm saying. There is kind of a weird spot to change things. Zara, maybe he will dial screen to fix the plot hole. Again, could be. It certainly would work. He comes back as someone else, and only the dragon knows it's the real person. Yeah, Zara, but the problem is he would have to be that other person, Adam. And if they've cast him separately, I don't know, it can't be the same person. Because there's a whole storyline to Adam and who he actually is and stuff like that. So if that's the case, they're just going to have to do it. The first thing you said was, maybe he just actually dies off screen. Sydney, talked about this before last week with Darren. So Sydney's asking, where is Alicent's fourth child, Darren? He grows up in Old Town, but they haven't even mentioned his name. So I think they just cut him, honestly. I don't think nobody, to my knowledge, unless I just missed a line somewhere, they have not mentioned Darren at all. So you could say, you could easily say, yeah, hey, he's over in Old Town or whatever, so they don't have to have him cast, and he's not really a part of the story. Fine, but they didn't even mention him. So unless I missed a line, maybe I did, but I don't think they've even mentioned him. Oh yeah, Meg, they got a plan for sure. They got a plan. I'm sure they've thought of this stuff. This is probably a conversation with George R.R. Martin. But again, I don't want them to be breaking the dragon rules. You know what I Becky, give the LGBT rep some love. They didn't want to kill him. Yeah, but the thing with that, Becky, is, you know, that's fine. You could have who you want in the show, but he should be able to be killed like anybody else. You know, as far as, you know, just like having, you got to have stakes no matter who it is. And this is obviously Game of Thrones world, so it doesn't matter, you know, gay, straight, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're in the show, you're at risk, is the way I look at it. Just like you should be able to be a villain. You know what I mean? So maybe it was a little more of a political decision, perhaps. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. Let's see here. You see, Lenore would be back. He loved his sons. Yeah, he did. And that's what I mean. Like, you know, it's almost. Well, I like the idea of him like secretly surviving and all that stuff. It's like at least kind of like, you know, send a little note to your mom and dad, man. Demons Gate SJW mode and their stupid ideas. I don't think this show's like that at all, honestly. You know, we talked about this before. There's definitely some of that in shows for sure. I mean, just talk about the CW. I don't watch CW anymore. It's so overtly over the top. But I don't think House of the Dragon's like that at all. I think the decisions they made have really been actually really good for TV. It makes a lot of sense. So I don't think it's some, you know, woke thing. We've talked about that before, but not to get into all that crap because I watch these shows to get away from the politics and stuff. But either way, they'll figure out the sea smoke thing. It's just a pretty important deal. Mazuma, visually, the Velaryon choice really helps push across why Vaemon felt he was saying what everyone was thinking. He jokes about it in the post episode. No, it does. It really does. It absolutely does. You got to think about. I said this before. I mean, you got these two. They forgot the Celtigars, by the way. Has anybody seen it? I think we saw a Celtigar shield somewhere, but we haven't seen any Celtigars. There's just no love for the Celtigars, by the way. Another Valyrian house that's right up from north of Dragonstone. But anyway, yeah, I mean, we were saying that before is, you know, clearly these kids are, it's even more so, they don't look like Lenore. It just makes it more obvious. So, but yeah, where are the, where's the Celtigars? Where's the Celtigar love? We got another Valyrian house in the show, you know? Mother Dragon, exactly. SmokeScreen. I don't know which thing. I'm sorry, Taryn. I don't know which thing you're saying exactly to, but I said a lot of shit because I'm rambling. Sydney, the romantic. Good night, everyone. I have to go to work. Have a good one, Sydney. Thank you for hanging out. Really appreciate it, and I think it's hilarious that you changed your name, Sydney the Romantic. Taylor. That was from last week's stream, by the way, when Sydney was going all romantic on us about some plot devices. Demon Germ will never finish the Dream of Spring. It's not going to happen, for sure. Foley, special treatment is othering. Treat all the same. Exactly. I mean, that's the whole point. Jirish, does the first Kingsguard member near the table look like Sir Harold to someone? Hope the quality was good enough for us to recognize. Well, I think somebody said earlier that they did see him with Otto, I believe, but I did not catch him. So I don't know if somebody wants to clarify that saw that exactly where he was standing. I completely missed him if he was there, which, you know, we'll see how they change it, if they're going to change it. Let's see. Most success. I must have missed something there. You're saying, especially sitting next to Daemon's children. But I don't have the context for that follow-up. someone even more contrasted when Rhaenyra has 2 kids with Daemon. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's and the same in the books, right? I mean, you got these 3 kids, brown hair, plain looking as they're described, and then later on she has kids with Daemon, and then they're all, Valyrian. Let's see. That's what we were saying last week. If she could have had just at least one kid, but I know they tried. I thought that was a cool little touch to show that they actually tried, that Laenor and them tried to hold up his end of the bargain as far as their agreement and all that. If they'd had just one kid that looked like him, just one. The other ones could have been, questionable, but I don't think it'd have been a big deal. Demon Germ fell off. Ryan and Patty blow his Viserys out of the water. The show will be more popular. Well, he agrees. Demon. He likes this Viserys better than his own. Let's see here. All right. Hold on. Matt Gio, what's up, Matt Gio? How are you? Mother of Dragon, SmokeScreen has discussed the finer points of tonight's House of Dragon episode and avoiding discussing politics of the current day. Yes, we try to avoid that. That's what I don't want to see in TV shows and movies, unless it's specifically about those things in modern day. Yeah, so we'll look. I'm not afraid to address them or whatever. People have questions. There are legitimate questions you can have about stuff like that, and doesn't make you some kind of evil person. That's fine. But, we're not going to get into the whole, political bullshit. There's other channels for that. Jabba the Hutt. That's a good question, Jabba. Maybe a really important question. Why was there no sex? They're really... They decided long ago, Ryan, I guess, and Miguel, and who knows what George R. Martin said on it. He ain't said anything specific, but they're not doing the sex just for the sake of doing it. The joke became. Well, you got to remember. Here's the context for the Game of Thrones sex stuff. This, as far as the jokes go, is the sex position, right? They called that. George R. Martin actually commented on it himself. That came from the Littlefinger brothel scene where he was, spitting out some facts or whatever, and it was just kind of a boring conversation. So they had the 2 girls going at it in the background. That's what they called the sextaposition. So you had this exposition dump, and they had to have something going on in the background, and that's why they did that. But even George R. Martin said himself that was only really that one time where it was like completely unneeded, which makes sense. It's to some degree of having something going on while that exposition, it's just an expo dump, so you can't have just a plain expo dump. So that's where the joke comes in. But for the most part, if you really think about it, it was nothing really unnecessary. They did make some changes that were awkward and weird with the Sansa stuff and Dany flipping that around. But this show decided just not to do any of that unless it was necessary for the scene. So, and then, of course, what we saw is pretty mild. With Rhaenyra, obviously, last week with Daemon, and then young Rhaenyra, pretty mild stuff as far compared to Game of Thrones. Where we saw, Hodor's 18-inch dong dragging the ground, prosthetic, and Theon's and all the girls and just the whole thing. Jedi Dick Sensei. Jedi Dick Sensei, by the way, the name. Hodor penis gave me nightmares. Randy, bummer the Viserys sex scene got cut. Oh God. Jabba. I don't. Aegon the Fourth show. It would get a lot of sex. Yeah, it would actually. I don't know. They could. They could do it. Zara, that's a good point, Zara. Her 2 older sons, Jason and Luke, I guess, stand out like a pair of kittens with a basket of puppies. Should have made them grow their hair long and have cornrows or dreads. That would have helped. At least get them dreaded up or something. True. And look, by the way, they have hair dye in this world. You know, they have hair dye in this world. There's people with purple hair and mustaches like Dario from the books and stuff. So they could have done that, but you had to keep that up all the time. Yankee fan, what's up, Yankee fan? In the dinner scene after Viserys speaks about keeping the family together, do you think the adults' reactions are real? Do you think it's not phony? I do think, I was saying earlier, Yankee fan, I actually think for a moment they were. For just a fleeting moment, 30 seconds, whatever, I think they were really kind of taking it in and listening and thinking, yeah, this is all kind of stupid. But Aemond, you know. But so I do think they were trying to, at least that's the way I took it. I took it as they were legitimate for a minute. They were starting to really think like, yeah, I mean, you know, and they do respect to some degree their grandfather, right, and stuff, and their fathering than grandfather. Jirish, the photo I was referring to was the weeks ahead photo of the Black Council at Dragonstone for Sir Harold, the first Kingsguard member. Looks very much like Harold. Oh, okay. Maybe I have not seen this then. Weeks ahead. I don't know where do I find the week. I'll pull it. Well, we're gonna pull up the trailer teaser in a minute, so I don't know if that's included in that or something. We'll see what we see in that too. Jabba did Viserys breathe through his eye socket? I probably could have. He probably could have. You did hear the weird breathing. Dale Y. Aemon looks 40 years old. He does look older. People are definitely a lot more comments I've seen recently, not just here tonight or anything. I'm saying just in general, YouTube, whatever, of the casting. It's a little odd that Aegon looks. He looks so much older than Aegon now. I like Aegon. I picture his haircut. He looks like an asshole. It's just an asshole haircut. I'm sorry, it is for Aegon. So the haircut's fine for what I think he should look like, but he does look younger. Jenny of Coldstone, yeah, there you go. They were, and then the pig showed up. Yeah, exactly. That did kind of break the silence. I'm just glad Viserys did get a moment. I'm glad Viserys got his moment. That's all. Everything is fine until the pig shows up, exactly, Carol Brown. But yeah, no, Viserys got his moment. That was cool. Yeah, no, Carlos, I do. Yeah, Carlos Mendoza, I do like him for sure. Yeah. I'm not worried about his looks as much as I am Aegon's. But yeah, he's gonna make a great Aemon for sure. I can already tell. So far, so good. Moni G, yeah, beautiful moment at the dinner table, especially for King Viserys. Yeah, it was. He got his little moment and made him. I felt because I was the thing I was thinking obviously was I feel like he can die now, and that kind of confirmed almost what I thought that at the end of this episode he would go. So he did die happy. Jenny, you're saying that right now, Jenny of Coulson. Matt Gio, it would be hard to eat when the king took his mask off, just saying. Yeah, it was very, very shocking, but I think it was a cool scene. Like, I want you to see me as I am. That was pretty cool. Gregor Smith, Aegon is definitely a major weenie. He is a dickhead, man. He is, for sure. Raging Occasion, thank you for another super chat, man. Appreciate it. Having read the books, I'm most excited for the trip to Winterfell. Yes. I want to see Raging Occasion, Winterfell, and Sarah Snow, if that's a thing. I would like for there to be a Sarah Snow. We won't go spoil anything, but we'll see if that's the case. That's why Robert's Rebellion series will be so good. You get to see Ned, Brandon, Benjen, Lyanna, and Dad. Yep. Yeah, we'll see if they ever do that. I mean, they're going to do this whole universe, but we'll see. The thing about it, what's already bothering me is like, look, we're just now, we're in episode 8, right? We got 9 and 10 left, and we're done. We're not going to see season 2 until 2024, right? 2 years? It's going to be 2 years, close to it. So we got another long night. We're not going to see, if you're watching Rings of Power, no, still don't know how I feel about this. Like I want to like this thing, but it's hard to do. That's not coming. That's another 2 years, I think. I mean, we got some other shows and stuff, but we got another as far as the Game of Thrones stuff, Fire and Blood, and then whatever. Unless we get a show that gets filmed secretly and pops up next year, we got another 2 year wait, and it's going to be hard to deal with that again on from a YouTube perspective. Let us have our moment like Viserys, Meg Paul. Did I miss something? I'm sorry. Carlos King V looked like an Elden Ring boss. He did. He did look like Godric the Grafted. Godric the Grafted, Carlos. That's what he looked like. Becky telling Daniel, I expected to see milk of the poppy flowing out the jaw. I did too. Yeah, he looked bad, man, but poor Viserys, man. He's been through shit. I mean, he can't even lay there looking like a zombie and rest without people talking about succession in his ear. Foley, yeah, exactly, Foley. I was going to say this is kind of what I'm thinking. One of episode 9 will be the big banger in typical GOT fashion. I think so. I think now that he's gone, they can kind of unleash the whole fucking thing. I think we get First Blood next week. We're going to watch that trailer here in a second. I'm going to go to the restroom real quick, and we're going to pull up this trailer on YouTube and watch it because I have not seen it yet, as usual. Okay, no, Meg. Bask in happiness. Bask, Meg, in happiness. Viserys got his moment. I agree. Jabba the Hutt, you may get a King Maegor show. We may go backwards in time if they do the Aegon thing and then jump every year to Maegor. I mean, it's only 3 kings in, right? So you could see that if they make this jump around like they're saying. Because, I mean, look, the dance is going to last three, maybe 4. I don't think it's over 3 seasons now that we're here, now that we got to this point now. Well, no, Demon's Gate. This is what I mean by First Blood. Okay, so there's 2 things you could consider First Blood. I think you're right. Next week we're going to have the Green Council. There is a scene there that's going to happen, but I'm not considering that First Blood. I'm saying that technically is, but First Blood in the sense of the actual fighting, I think that's episode 10 for sure. I agree. But there will be blood next week. It just won't be that what I'm thinking about. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I mean. We were talking about that earlier with the Kristen Cole thing. So I think they may, if Westerling's still there right now, which again, somebody said that y'all saw him, then they may have, they may change that up how Kristen Cole, who's involved in that whole thing with the Green Council, maybe that's how he becomes, Lord Commander of the King's Guard. We'll see. I'm not going to read it out loud, Demon. No spoilers. Matt Geo, I love the Prince that was promised references, but it just makes me feel like Jon doesn't do shit, so the prophecy is a dud. I agree, Matt Geo. I do. I think this Jon Snow series, if they do go forward with it, which, I'm kind of thinking just because of the popularity of God that they'll probably do it. But we'll see if they can kind of correct some things. They can't do the Night King again, though. They can't. It would just be dumber. So we'll see. And again, prophecy don't have to be, you had him and Dany both from the line of Rhaenyra. They did a lot of things to basically help win that war. It's not about necessarily the stabbing of the Night King. Obviously, you wanted a Night King Jon Snow showdown like it should have been, Last Hero style, but they didn't. But you can still consider that Jon's the one who rallied the realm and all that kind of stuff and got the realm together, even though there's no Targaryen ruler. So prophecies don't have to be correct, So, but it just, to play it up so much in this as a reference to Jon Snow and Game of Thrones almost makes it worse. So, No, I agree, Job. I don't know. We've said this before. We don't know why we need it. You can't do it unless you have all these other actors too. So he can't just do it up north. Jason Weeks, Warden of the North. Thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. We just watched 26 years of King V. We did lots of time jumps, but again, I know there some of those were kind of jarring. No more real major ones. Obviously, there's going to be weeks and months pass or whatever, but no more. 3, 5, 6, 10-year time jumps. We have our final cast, it looks like. Nah, Jenny, it would take away from the actual whole story of another Night King. There can't be another Night King. That would be, that would actually just, even if you can possibly even imagine it, that would make the whole story broken. That would break the whole story. It would make it worse if you can imagine that even being worse. Matt Gio, dude, your rewriting of Game of Thrones on the channel was so good. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I need to. I guess I'm about to finish the last episode by myself. James is just not going to join, I don't think, as far as the podcast and all that. So, yeah, I mean, we did through episode 5 of the last season. I mean, everybody got the gist of. I did the whole series of Dragon Raised by Wolves. That's already out there anyway. That's the ending. That's the ending I wanted. I mean, that made more sense to me. I think it'll be again, it won't be the exact ending, obviously. If there were to be a book ending, I do think it would be accurate to a degree. Though it's an important location, obviously. So I appreciate it. I wish we'd get at least hints of that. But I think for the books, it would be an important location. But clearly, it's not going to be the ending with Bran being the king and all that stuff, because that is the ending. Exactly, Foley. You can't do it without Dany. You can't do it without Sansa. You can't do it without Sam, Bran, going back to King's Landing, going back to Westeros. You just can't do it. So, unless they get those people back, I mean, whatever. George R. R. Martin said there would never be a sequel. But George R. R. Martin has a weakness for money. So, just, it's just the way it is. Gone awry in 2024, I doubt we'll care about. Yeah, I mean, yeah, by then, yeah, this is it. This is the final one, so it won't matter then. But they had to set it up, and there is, you got to think, it's based off the book, which there's just lots of gaps and not a lot happens. There's just, they didn't mention the Year of the Red Spring thing, though. I thought that was interesting. I don't remember them saying that anywhere. With all the deaths and stuff, with Laena and Laenor and all that stuff, they didn't call it the Year of the Red Spring or any of that stuff, so interesting choice there. Jabba the Hutt, we're definitely going to get Dunk and Egg. I think. I'm not. I can't say definitely. I guess I can. I think if they're going to choose between these major storylines, Dunk and Egg has got to be it. It's such a great story, and they got 3 seasons right there, clear. Right, they got 3 books right, and he wants to write more. Probably never write those either, but that would be perfectly fine with me. Dunk and Egg is the one I want the most out of all these. That is true. Blackfire Rebellions would have no dragons, so if you like the dragon aspect, yeah, you can't go beyond really much more. I mean, a little further than when this ends, but not much further. John Haymaker, thank you for joining the channel or using his monthly super chat thing. Thank you, man, for being a member of the channel. You cannot do Jon Snow series without Tormund. Yeah, I have no doubt he would come back for sure. You just can't do a Jon Snow series with only Tormund is my point, right? I mean, you can have them running around and doing a few things up north, but if they don't come back to Westeros, you just can't do it. Going awry, Viserys, the Crypt Keeper. That's exactly what I was thinking about earlier. The Crypt Keeper going awry. Sir Duncan Dick and Whore. Never gonna get it in vogue. Never gonna never. It's a great song, man. Welcome, by the way. Sir Duncan Dickon Whore. Lots of ice and fire in there, man. So, let's see. Matthew, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Hope they bring the child actors next season, do flashbacks to fill what we missed, give context for things that might happen. I think they all earn coming back. Yeah, no, we'll definitely see all the people that we saw tonight. You're going to see them 100%. You're going to see Episode 10, calling it now. I'm not going to say the details. We're going to see Storm's End in episode 10. So, take with that what you will. But yes, no, thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it. We'll definitely see that cast return, except for maybe one or a couple. Yeah, Sir Davos, Jason, exactly. They can't do it without those people, man. Foley Duncan Egg is just so unknown to non-book readers, not even referenced in the shows, I think. Well, it is in the main storyline. You got the reference to Brienne is, she's from the line of Sir Duncan the Tall. You heard Egg. You did hear Egg from Maester Aemon. So there's a couple of references there, but that's the great thing about it is it would be a really good kind of a story that you don't have to know all the history of Targaryens and all that kind of stuff to enjoy a really good story. Like you would know it's there. You would know who Egg was, obviously, once this little kid with a shaved head looks like an egg. But you don't have to know all this lore and history and stuff to enjoy that type of story. Plus, you'll get to meet Bloodraven. You'll get to meet younger Bloodraven, where he still looks like a dude, a man with why he's called Bloodraven. That whole thing would be cool. Anyway, they said Hodor, Jenny, had giant's blood, so I don't know if that was ever confirmed. Becky, is the Crimson God scary? I don't do scary. No, it's not scary. It's dark fantasy, little dark fantasy, but no, it's not. It's got I would say some very minor horror vibes in some chapters, but no, there's nothing scary about it. Again, that depends on your definition of scary, though. But no, it's not a horror book for sure. So yeah, appreciate it if you grit it. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, definitely. It's medieval fantasy, with again a touch of dark fantasy. There's a couple. I've heard a couple people describe it to me as a couple little scenes or some spots with some horror vibes, but it's definitely not. No, definitely not scary. Voodoo, thank you. It's amazing. Definitely read it. Thank you, Voodoo, darling. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Bloodraven is one of my all-time favorite characters going to Rise, so I'd love to see a young Bloodraven and see how he is as a younger man with his bow and arrow and his raven's teeth, his company of archers. Sir Brendan Rivers. So it'd be cool. We could meet him. All right. So yeah, I'm going to go real quick to the restroom, and then we'll come back and break down or do a quick little watch and kind of a quick just on the spot breakdown of the teaser because I have not seen it yet. I always wait to watch it with you guys. So let me turn on this wonderful music for you guys for just a couple minutes. So hang with me, and we'll come back and watch this teaser, and I will be right back. Alrighty, alrighty. Let me pull up. Oh, hell. Here we go. Mizuma's got a fun fact. The hell is it now? Fun fact, SmokeScreen has a sword named Dark Stepsister. She's always getting stuck in the washing machine, though. Pretty good, Mizuma. Dark Stepsister, I do. Always stuck on the wall. All right, so let me find YouTube here. All right, what is this called? House of the Dragon. That's the name of the show. House of the Dragon, episode 9. We're already at 9. It's crazy, man. All right, so there's that. I don't want to start it yet. Let me get that there. Let me move this over here. I'll move the chat over here. So again, before we do this, right? Minor spoiler warning for next week. I'll always just kind of say what I think the scenes are, but I won't go into any heavy spoilery things for anybody that don't want to know anything. Just a heads up before we start this. So, if we're good with that, let me make sure. There we go. All right. Something like that. Close enough. All right. So, we're good. Anybody want to bow out? I understand completely. And if you do, thank you for hanging out. Because again, I'm not going to any details, like hardcore details, but I'll mention a few things that may spoil some locations, maybe some general stuff. We'll see. I don't know. I have no idea what's in this. SmokeScreen's the next Joe Abercrombie. Jesus Christ. Careful going to write. It's probably capital letters or whatever, so watch out. That's just Nightbot. It's bullshit. Capital letters and too many emojis. Yeah, Andor. I've seen the first 4. I need to catch. I'll check it out. The rest of it. The first 3 were really boring to me. It was okay, but it was just boring. But they really got pretty damn good in episode 4. So I'll definitely watch anything Star Wars. I'm gonna at least check it out. I want to talk about the Lord of the Rings. Maybe I'll do like a season-ending live stream or video or something, because I do want to talk about some things. There's some things I actually enjoy. There's some things I absolutely hate. It's definitely not Tolkien overall, and it's breaking a lot of lore. But if you can kind of separate that out, there's some enjoyable things about it. So it's kind of hard, but I wanted to talk about that and do both. But it's just turned out to be such a, I don't know. It's so odd. The writing is so horrible for the most part. But again, it's one of those weird things where I really want to enjoy it. I was looking forward to it so much, and then they did a Dan and Dave all over again. But anyway, not to talk about Lord of the Rings all night. We're just we're going to jump in here. So we're good. Yeah, maybe I'll just do because I was going to do the week to week things going. But all right, here we go. We'll do it we'll see what's in here, and I'll try to avoid any I'm not going to obviously talk any Mage of the Rings. Ungoliant, yeah, I was again, I thought about you the other day. I was watching the Return of the King and saw Chiba, Ungoliant's little offspring. All right, so let's jump into this and see what we got. This is HBO. Stands for Home Box Office, by the way, guys, just in case you didn't know that. So there's your first breakdown. Here we go. All right. Empty Throne. What's up, Rice in Return? How you doing, man? Empty Throne. What that means is the king is dead. real groundbreaking shit here, man. All right, here we go. Empty throne room. So sad. Oh, okay. So the star's not up here yet. I thought Rhaenyra and Daemon had walked into the throne room, and when she said, "I thought I missed home," so I don't see it up here yet. But it was in the small council room. Yeah, they did not sell the Silmarillion. Let's see. If they're gonna do it, they need to use that. Anyway, I just got finished reading that again too. Here we go. Empty throne room. No 7-point star.
The king is dead.
Oh, there you go. Now, here we go. Kristen Cole. Now, is he standing here now because he's Lord Commander, or is he standing here because he's still Alicent's personal guard? Just saying, he needs to be Lord Commander by now. Oh, and speaking of all that, so probably, you know, he's the bloodthirsty bastard now, so probably him, because that's obviously his armor. King is dead. Small council. The Green Council. First Green Council.
You told me you wish for Aegon to be king.
Oh, shit. No, don't do that. That's why I did not like that last thing. That's what I was saying. I didn't think they'd use it for such a big thing. Did you really believe that? Don't do this. Don't give her an excuse, right? I mean, come on. Like, she didn't take it that seriously when he was like, the prince that was promised, Aegon the Conqueror, but she thought she was talking about her Aegon. Don't give her an excuse to that. No, man. Someone not like this. Exactly what I'm thinking about. The Matrix, not like this. Does she actually believe that? That's the question. Oh God, they're gonna fuck this up, man. I hate this. Let's see here. What's the people mad at here? They're not. Are they starting to listen to a preacher here? Let me let this play out for a second. Okay, maybe they're. These look like some commoners up in here. Yeah, she wants to believe it, but I mean, does she really? That I don't like that, man. This just makes it's like another excuse for her to like really buy into her own bullshit when she's just a horrible person. Can we not just have horrible people anymore? Because I don't know, you know what I mean? Why are we making excuses and having clear? Oh my God. Yeah, so this is going to be, yeah, I was going to say that, Sir Duncan, but I'm saying like this group of commoners, I don't know what they're coming to here. Maybe they're just, maybe they hear the news, maybe the bell's tolling or something, they're coming to the Red Keep. So this is going to be probably, I don't see anybody I recognize besides Otto up here, obviously in the back of Kingsguard. Can't see any houses here. I was going to mention earlier, I think, where did I thought I wrote that down. Maybe that's, maybe, I don't know. Never mind. We'll see if is that maybe Caswell there, Lord Caswell, because it's going to be in Rhaenyra supporter. But probably, there he is. Okay, I was going to say, there he is. There's Caswell. So, yeah, there's going to be some lords probably going to come in and say, you know, king is dead, Aegon's the king, and now you must swear fealty type of thing.
The door remains shut until we finish our.
There we go. So there you go. The door remains shut. So look, nobody's going to know. So this will be later, obviously, or this will be early in the episode right here. You know, they don't let, like, his body sits in there for like a week and it starts rotting and the smell fills up the Red Keep because they don't let that door open. We'll see if they add the little details about somebody walking in to find the king, that serving dude, and they go inform. We'll see if they hold them or take them out because they don't want the news to spread to anybody. So this is what he's saying.
Shut until we finish our business.
Looks like the same scene here in the thing where Aemon's like looking over maybe at Aegon, or there's realizing that they're going to actually do this thing.
None can know who you are or what you seek.
Oh, okay. Otto's talking. None can know who you are or what you seek.
Who you are or what you seek.
That looks like Eric.
What you seek.
Yes, it is. I believe that's Sir Otto using Eric there. the King's Guard. Yeah, see, Christopher Clark, I said that earlier. The way they did it on the show actually kind of messed it up. If they wouldn't have changed his illness, which, again, the illness made the show better, and it made it better for him as a character, but Rhaenyra should have never left. I said that earlier. So it looks like Auric or Eric. There she is. There's the servant girl. She's the one who spoke to Massaria earlier. Wait a minute, what did she say? Let's back that up. What's of Rhaenyra? So it looks like the crowd's here storming. So something's going on here. What is going on here with making them run? Because the common people, they're not just going to be storming the Red Keep because the king's died or something. I don't think. I mean, there's no. It's like something's going on here with some kind of physical threat. Jabba, yeah, I mean, okay, I guess it'll be a book spoiler. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just not something that takes a long time. It's just kind of a sudden thing, which it's leprosy in the show, by the way. Yeah, it is leprosy in the show. It's not in the books, which would make Rhaenyra, she wouldn't even know not to go home. So with the leprosy thing and as how bad she was in this episode, she should not have left to go to Dragonstone. What was that? Okay, that is somebody's jumping.
I found out something you should know.
Oh.
Something you should know.
Clubfoot, I found out something you should know as we see, is this Aegon the Younger, I believe? They showed both Aegon before and Viserys.
Found out something you should know.
Where is he at? Why is he? It's got to be Dragonstone, right? I mean, he's just a kid. Yeah, I won't say it out, Meg Paul. I have people yelling at me for spoiling the books, although it's not really a major spoiler. But okay, there's some. What is that? What is this? A fighting pit? What is this? I can't see who that is. Aemond in with the hood on, going to another hooded person. So, what's he scheming about already? This is I don't know. Could be that same girl that's like the informant. I don't know. Since we've seen her in the same hood. There we go. Okay, wait a minute. There's what we're talking about. Hold on. Is that... Okay. Here we go. This is what I was saying right here. Is this not Harold Westerling? So this is the council. We see the Grand Maester over here. We see... Oh, this is a major spoiler. I mean, not major, but, I mean, it's right there on the screen. I've got it off because I got this shrunk a little bit, so it's kind of out of view, so I won't mention it. It looks like this is when Kristen Cole is going to become Lord Commander of the King's Guard. So this is what I was saying earlier about them changing this, right? He should already be... Book Kristen Cole is already Lord Commander of the King's Guard. This is Harold Westerling right here. And they're about to get in a fight because he just did something. If you can see this or not, it is clean. You're right. It is clean, but it shouldn't be his blade, his sword that does the deed. It should be his dagger, correct? So he's already over here on laying down. I won't show it just in case. But this will be this is exactly what I was talking about. So they're going to change this up a little bit. There's Auric. We won't go into what he's going to do. Okay, there's Beesbury again. So I was saying earlier, you saw him. He's being defiant this last episode. This is that council meeting right there. So a lot of this is going to obviously revolve around this. So he was being defined earlier about, what are y'all talking about? He's the only guy with some fucking honor up in here. Demon's guy didn't see his other hand. I didn't see anything, but... wait a minute. Maybe? It looks like... I can't see it. Yeah, I can't see it. It's down here. You can see his sword. This is his hilt. And then you can't see his hand down here. So Beesbury's standing up to the council.
This is seizure. It is treason at the least.
I can't believe they just put that in that trailer. I mean, I don't have the whole thing on the screen. Like, I got it blown up a little bit. So if I move this, you can see what I'm talking about, just so you can't see the black. But they literally just... If I would have had that over a little bit, I don't know if y'all saw some of that. I guess y'all saw the regular one. That's a pretty big spoiler. I mean, not a major spoiler, but to show that in the corner there. So this is the coronation. Probably. Yeah. Oh, where's Aegon going? Where's Aegon going? This Aegon. Oh, okay. So this right here. This is too early. No. This is the coronation. Okay, that's right. Okay. So they're gonna, yeah. So Aegon, he does obviously what's gonna happen. Spoiler alert. Is Aegon is going to be? They're going to leave the body for a while, like they said earlier, and they're going to say the hell with Rhaenyra, right? That's what's this whole Green Council about. So this is a spoiler, but you kind of already know this because the war happens because of this. So they don't even tell Rhaenyra, which is why we're saying she shouldn't have left King's Landing. They go to the Dragon Pit because this is where Aegon is coronated. So now you see the front of the Dragon Pit here. You see the old Valyrian markings here. So this is the crowd coming to the coronation of Aegon.
Have you never imagined yourself on the Iron Throne?
So that was that last scene was the crown. So he gets Aegon's Iron Crown here. So this is the Conqueror crown for Aegon. But that is the voiceover of Rhaenys talking to Alicent.
You never imagined yourself on the Iron Throne.
So notice this is not Viserys' crown. Yeah, so that was Eric Cargill. They're the twins on the Kingsguard. You have Auric and Eric, I think that's how it's pronounced. They're on the Kingsguard. We won't go into what they're doing there, but they're bought and paid for too. And then this is the crown. Notice this is not Viserys. This is the Conqueror's crown. So this is what Aegon will use. Wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute. Is it? It's the iron. Yeah, this should be it. It's iron. There's no rubies or anything. I think that's what you're saying, Sir Duncan. Yeah, I wonder if it looks like the Iron Crown, though, does it not? I think that's what it's supposed to be. Maybe they're on the other side, perhaps. So, yeah, you get the voiceover. And that's what I mean. Rhaenys, why is she still here talking to Alicent?
Never imagined yourself on the Iron Throne.
And that is it. So I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised, though, that they showed the scene in the council with Beesbury there. I mean, obviously he's standing up to somebody. I don't know. So Clubfoot, I don't remember
I found out something you
why they're showing Aegon the Younger here. So what information is he telling Alicent here? We'll see who's paying for all this information, because maybe the girl here in the cloak that Aemon meets is also involved with the Clubfoot there. There she is again, because they're definitely showing her again. So there you go. Amy Collins, yeah, there should be rubies on that crown if it's Aegon the Conqueror. There should be, but I don't remember another standard kind of iron crown that looks like that. Maybe they're just on one side, or maybe they've been removed or something. I don't know. They are changing some things. We'll see. Meg, circle with square rubies. That's the one. Yeah, it definitely looks like it. So, and that's what Aegon the Second uses because of his name. But Yeah, Becky. Yeah, it's kind of plain, just iron, just a plain old iron crown, nothing special, not like the Viserys. They all use different crowns, but a lot of people chose to use this later on in honor of Aegon. So that looks like to be the one. Oh, again, people are mentioning no rubies, but maybe there's like one or two on the other side. Maybe there's technically a front and a back, or maybe it's over here behind her hand, whatever it may be. But I'm just curious on why Rhaenys is still there. So anyway, we got the coronation at the Dragon Pit. We got the information war starting. This is going to be a big change. I'm surprised this is in here, but it's so fast, I guess, people are not going to catch it. But Kristen Cole looks like he's challenging. This is Kingsguard here, so this is going to be him kind of taking the spot from Westerling, it looks like. So it looks like they're going to change that to make him more of a dick. I'm surprised they put that shot in there, but whatever. Not a huge thing, but... we won't say any more than that just to avoid any spoilers. But there you go, episode 9. So I predict, though. Let's see. I didn't see. Since we saw Aemond, I believe what they're going to do is you get the coronation. The shit starts back and forth. Rhaenyra's going to hear about it, of course, and then they're going to start getting support because Rhaenyra's not going to stand for it. She will go to war. And I believe we will see Aemond take off to Storm's End. So, and that will be episode 10. Episode 10. So before, that will be episode 10 where we're getting some blood in this one, right? We're getting some blood. But what I mean is first blood in the actual war. I think that's what they'll do. So, all right, let me move this back over here. Alrighty. It's getting heated. Now it's on. That's it. There was no more Viserys left to stop all this stuff. So they're going to go full. I don't like that. Let me say this real quick before we get out of here. I don't like Alicent using that as, well, he told me he wanted Aegon to be king. That's not what he said at all. It gives her more of a excuse to be an asshole when it's okay that she's just an asshole. We can stop softening her edges like they kind of did this episode. I actually like the scene where she did, think about their childhood and kind of connect to their younger selves and whatever, just for a moment. But she's still who she is, so don't give her these soft edges by playing up. Now, again, hopefully she don't believe that and she just uses it because she knows. I guess she believed it because what else would he be talking about? He said the Song of Ice and Fire. And she thinks it's her Aegon, her son, instead of Aegon the Conqueror that had the dream. So she has no idea what he's talking about. But it just gives her an excuse. I don't like that. Yeah, Jenny, exactly. We've already seen what she's capable of doing, and now we're going back to making her seem sympathetic again. Well, no, he just told me in secret. You know he was high. You made it. You've been keeping him high. He's talking out of his ass, and now you believe him. So anyway, I don't like that. I hope that's not some big deal, but it gives her I'm doing the right thing. I know it because he told me. You know what I mean? No, you're not. It's almost like she's now oh yeah, that was the king's actual wish. He told me in secret. No, that defeats the whole thing if you use that, man. I don't like that at all. I don't. That defeats the whole purpose of you know what I'm saying? The whole war starting because she's been an asshole and says, fuck you, Rhaenyra. It's giving her an excuse no. He told me the truth in secret. Y'all don't even know. So I don't like that, man. I hope they don't use, I hope she's bullshitting at least. Sir Duncan, he just did a public reaffirmation of the succession in the throne earlier. Yeah. Sammy, the idiot, took on and misunderstood an assignment that wasn't even meant for her. Exactly. That's what I don't like. That, Sammy. I don't like that. That gives her it's okay for her to be an asshole character, right, and turn into a complete cunt for a Game of Thrones hound word. So can we stop trying to I'm all for deep characters and, motivations and past scars and all that stuff. Gray, right? But I'm not for making her just for like the sake of making her a victim too, almost. You know what I mean? Like they have to keep the two major women victims for some reason. Why not have Rhaenyra, who is she's done some bad things and she's lied, but she is the heir, and didn't have her former best friend, for the show at least, be the asshole she is, instead of making her kind of a victim too. Oh no, she really told me. He told me what he really wanted at the end. He was, he told me the truth. No, come on, man. Anyway, sorry, mini rant there. I don't like that at all. All right, so there we go. Changing my story. There you go. I didn't like that either. I don't like it. I don't like that at all. That's going to really bother me if it's really like a motivation of hers, unless she's just saying that in front of somebody and using it as an excuse, like, here's my justification, but I really don't believe it. That's fine. But if she really believes that, and that's like a motivation of hers because Viserys told her some secret that she had no fucking clue what he was talking about, no, that's bad writing, and that's a political decision. That's not a story decision. That's what I mean. You can have bad women in Ice and Fire. She is. It's okay to be a villain. It's cool. But I don't like that. That's what I mean about those. When you put politics over writing, your story will suffer every time, and I don't like that at all. Giving her an excuse. So hopefully she's just playing that off as an excuse, like in public, but she don't really understand or know what the fuck he was saying. Anyway, so there we go. We'll see what happens. But 2 more episodes, 9 and 10, and we are done for a while. We're done for 2 years. So maybe probably not going to get angry at a soundbite. No. I just mean. Yeah, it's just lazy. Sammy's saying it's just lazy. I don't like the little added thing there that you don't need. You don't need any more excuses for her. Yeah, right. I mean, it is. It's one of those. It's a political thing. It's not a writing thing. It's okay. It's what it is. I mean, clearly. Again, we'll see. I'm not gonna. We'll see. We'll hold judgment. Until we see the episode and what she says in private versus on the council. She could be using that for the council thing. Like, he told me some stuff and trying to convince the council, but she really didn't believe it or understand what she was saying. So that's fine, but whatever. Moni G, because they've said now, I think 2024, and then we're not going to get anything next year. It's not. It's going to be another long night, so I don't know what we're going to do here. We still have The Witcher and stuff like that, and some minor shows, but nothing major like this for 2 more years, including Lord of the Rings, if you do watch that, by the way, which I actually wanted to talk about to some degree. I don't want to completely hate on it, but I also want to point out the bullshit and the stuff they break for the Tolkien lore, and some of the things I actually enjoy and think would be okay, but not going to get that either, so I don't know what we're going to do here. But I don't like that, man. Mother Dragon, SmokeScreen, I'm with you on this. The writers, again, are trying to give the green side legitimacy. They are. That's what I mean. They're trying to give her some kind of little, like a softer side, which, again, I know she's a flawed character like everybody, but I don't like that. It don't make any sense. There's only one reason for that. Nicole, do anything for kids. Yeah, but Nicole, the point of the whole Alicent thing is, she has the chance to break. Like, this is about This is about medieval patriarchy when it did exist, and she had a chance to do the right thing, but her son came first, and they're taking that and altering it to make her. Giving her even more reason as opposed to just calling her what she is. Ungoliant, yeah, I think he'll come back, Celebrimbor. I don't think he's dead. I think that was stupid. to mention him now after you had no clue. You just thought, okay, they just got rid of Caleb Brimbor. He's pretty important. I don't think he's dead, but yeah, that's weird. I don't like. We'll get into that later. But yeah, no, I don't like that decision. So I won't dwell on it too much. We'll see what they do with it. Hopefully, she just kind of uses it in a sense to kind of persuade the council people as opposed to actually believing it. Because I don't like that as her reasoning. Because she's already planning all this anyway. We don't need another thing to make her actually believe that Aegon should be heir. Because look. Rhaenyra's already the heir. She's been heir now for 20 fucking years, right? Whatever. If she thought her kids were in danger, her kids would already be dead. Especially now that she's been married to Daemon for a while. Her kids are not in any danger, and she knows it. So I get that part. Believe me, I understand. Yes, that's what I mean, John Haymaker. That's what I mean exactly. She's okay as long as her son benefits and her family, and that's what makes her an asshole. But now they're giving her more, the king told me that he's the prince that was promised. No, fuck that shit. Anyway, all right. Anyway, thank you guys. We'll get out of here. It's getting a little late. I apologize. I didn't mean to go on the mini rant, but I just want to. I'm just being honest. I don't like that at all. Hopefully, they'll use that differently. Thank you for the super chats, everybody. Mark Clark, Guild, Acoustics Blake, Shannis, the Raging Cajun for several super chats there. Jason Weeks, Warden of the North, and for joining the channel for 2 months as well, being a member for 2 months. Matthew Stiles for the super chat, and I think that is all on my list. I apologize if I missed anybody. So, yeah. Mother, the damn Green screwed up. They're responsible for crap. There you go. Exactly, Mother. We'll do that. We'll use that, Taryn. We'll use that. The Greens are responsible for season 8. That sounds good to me. But yes, Amy Collins Russell, just like what she says about getting her dad to be the hand, would be he would be partial to me. Exactly. See, we are exactly Amy Collins. Yes, exactly. She's already shown her true colors. We don't need another excuse for her. But anyway, all right. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. Really appreciate all the super chats, all the love. And yeah, we'll have 2 more weeks of House of the Dragon, and then we'll see what happens from there. We'll probably do a wrap-up stream or something after that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, and we'll see what happens. So thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you, mods, for taking care of all those fucking bots and stuff, too, as well. Appreciate you guys that do all this for free, because we can't afford to pay people here. Thank you, Taryn. Appreciate it. Thank you. So y'all have a good one and have a good week. Be safe out there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you. R.N. Smith, thank you. I see it. Super chat, last minute. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you, R.N. Smith. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.